have to read, and if you don't, you'll have a blind spot. And so I want to just talk through it a little bit so that you remember to go through it, so that again you don't have um, that blind spot. I can't remember. I don't have my book in front of me what page it is, but your private sewage disposal system. Remember our plumbing system, we have broken up into water supply, how we get our water, and then water drainage, how we drain and take away our waste essentially. Most of us across the country will be using public, right? Public utility to get our water, and then also a public sewage system to take again our waste away. However, if a house is not connected to a public sewer system, so if you're in a rural area or some area that's newly developed where public sewer lines aren't currently available, then you will need a private sewage disposal system or a way to basically get your own waste up out of there. Okay. The most common private sewage disposal system is the septic system, and that's the one that is covered in the book. It is installed underground in the yard of the home, and so in your actual inspection, this is going to be beyond your scope. So you're going to disclaim this. You're going to say, I did not inspect the septic system. Number one, because in a lot of cases, you have to have a credential to do that. And then number two, again, it's not accessible. You literally can't even see the underground tank. You will know that is the private system, but you won't be able to see it. So you will um, disclaim. In terms of again installation and all of that, you need special permits and special septic inspections when they are installing that system. So a lot of the oversight is provided. Oop, let me let them in. A lot of the oversight is provided when it's actually installed. Okay. So now let's go through, let's talk a little bit about the main parts of your septic system. Obviously, you're going to have the septic tank. This is the large tank that is underground. You can usually look for some sort of um, access lid or cover somewhere in the yard. That'll be where the underground tank is held at, and basically that tank received all of the wastewater from your house. So from your toilet, your sinks, your showers, your laundry, that tank is receiving all of that waste. Inside of the tank is sort of kind of compartmentalized. You have the solids that goes to your solid waste that goes to the bottom. We call that sludge, and then the oils will kind of sort of float at the top. We call that scum, and then you have a middle layer of liquid that flows out to the yard or to the drain field. So typically your tank will have two compartments, and that separates again um you, because you don't want the solids to go out into your yard, right? You only want the liquids. Imagine you walk out into your yard and there's just solid waste everywhere. You don't want that, okay? So there's a compartments inside the tank to prevent the solids from going into your yard or the drain field, okay? So that's the probably the main part of your septic system. Then you have the drain field. Uh um okay, thanks, Viv. Then you have the drain field. These are the trenches. They are like divots or trenches that are again in the yard. They typically fill in with gravel because again trying to absorb the water. You want this in the yard away from your house in a clear area, and this is where the liquid or the effluent will drain into the trenches, and then it basically the soil in your yard helps to filter it. And you don't see again the pipes that are underground. It may be marked, but you typically won't see the pipes above the ground. And then you have the soil, and this is also a very important part of the system because the soil serves as a natural filter for the wastewater. So the soil is going to remove bacteria and things that contaminates the water before it reaches basically the groundwater. So the soil has to allow the water to pass at a certain rate so that it can act as a filtration system, and all of this is tested during the installation, when it is, again, when they are pulling the permits for it and when they are completing the inspection. So how this works: you flush the toilet or drain the sink or use the sink, and the water goes down the drain. That wastewater is going to still flow through the home's plumbing. So all of the drain pipes that we talked about, the P traps, all of that still in effect for your private system. So it will flow through all of the plumbing, and then it flows out into the septic tank. Inside of the septic tank, we separate the solids from the liquid. The liquid flows from the tank into the drain field, where again it's going to go through gravel, and then into the soil. The soil finishes the job by filtering out the bacteria and basically allowing you have clear water or clean water that returns to the groundwater. Again, you cannot see this while you would not be able to see this process happening during an inspection unless, for whatever reason, the lid, the access cover for the tank is exposed, which it should not be. um you may see like certain wet spots or odors or things like that that may give you some indication, but again, you will not be able to see it. So that is how overall the septic system works. Is that clear? Any questions on that? Again, if you read this section in your book, Viv put the page numbers in the chat. If you go read this section, it will go into a little bit more detail, but that's essentially how it works. Signs of issue. Now, this is what you might see during an inspection. If you have your sinks or your toilets that are draining slow throughout the house, then that could indicate that you have some issue with your septic system. Because again, remember, in a private system, all we have to do is drain everything out of our house. We have a pipe from the house that connects to the sewer system, and we're using, remember, gravity. All of the pipes are slightly sloped downwards because we're using gravity to help make sure everything gets out. So in a private system where the tank is essentially serving as that sewer system, if your sinks, toilets, or fixtures are draining slowly, that could be an issue. If you have strong sewage odors, either inside or outside the home, that could be an issue. You're not having proper drainage. If you got a bunch of standing water or it's soggy in the drain, in the area of the drain field, could also indicate an issue. And then of course, if you have backup, if you got sewage backup in the house, in your basement, or at the area of your lowest fixtures, that also could indicate an issue. So during your inspection, you could note that. Again, if you're in the house and you get the smell, you see your backup, slow draining, anything like that, then of course you want to indicate that on your report, while still disclaiming, I did not see or inspect the actual tank. Okay. Some of the other components that are mentioned in the book is the ejector pump, the sewage ejector pump, and also the sump pump. I think there's oftentimes confusion on what roles these things play, right? The sump pump is not the septic system. So a lot of people will see, a sump pump and they will refer to it as the septic. And that is not the case. The sump pump removes water from around your foundation. So in an area where you have where basements, like here in Cleveland, we got, well, not in Cleveland right now, but in areas where there are basements, you often will find a sump pump to try to keep water, again, from pooling around the foundation, because we know what that could mean. Also, in wet climates, areas where there's a lot of rain, then you could typically find a sump pump. However, it is not, but we just went through the main components of the septic system. That's not part of that septic system in terms of the tank and the drain field and all that kind of stuff. The sewage ejector pump, you use that when you have plumbing fixtures, again, like in a basement where the fixtures are below the level of the septic tank. So that's why you would need that pump, because that fixture, again, bathroom, sink, whatever the case may be, is below the level of where the septic tank is. So you collect the wastewater is collected in a um, in a pit, for lack of a better term, and then it's basically pumped up to join the rest of the system. So again, in a if um say on your first floor you have a bathroom, and that's fine, it is connected again to your drain, all of that, it goes out uh to the septic tank. But let's say you have a half bath in the basement, and that's below the level of the connection of the septic tank. We have to collect the wastewater from that toilet, from that sink, and pump it up so that it can too join the rest of the wastewater going out into the septic system. So you may see like a pit in the floor that's typically covered, and you hear the pump run when somebody flushes the toilet or when they use the sink. You could hear oftentimes the pump running, and that's just basically, again, pumping that wastewater up so that it can go out to um, out to the septic system. So is that clear? Sump pump is not the septic system. Sump pump is to remove excess water from around the house so that you don't have flooding in either your basement or your crawl space. They do not connect to each other. And a sump pump is not um, moving sewage like the septic system is. The septic system is dealing with all of the waste from inside your house. The sump pump is dealing with all of the water from outside your house, from the rain, moisture, etc., etc. Both in a way protecting, but two totally different things. One in the chat if that's clear. Do not open the septic lid. The septic tank would be out in the yard, so that's different. Yes, 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 yes. Never, do not open that lid. And if you see it open, snap your picture, mark it as a defect, and keep pushing. Keep it pushing. Again, this is where that pre-work, I forget what we were talking about in the chat, but this is where that pre-work comes into play. So you get booked for an inspection, you start looking up, you look up the house on Zillow or whatever the case may be, and then you see it has a private sewage system or a septic tank or whatever the case may be. So before you even go out to the house, you know that, okay, this house is not connected to the public sewer system. So there is likely going to be a septic system installed. Do not forget to disclaim that, because sometimes realtors and even the homeowners, sellers, buyers, they'll be thinking that that is included in your inspection. And you have to make sure that you disclaim, meaning you let them clearly know, no, it does not. I did not inspect because I was not able to see. Oftentimes, they will have the permits that were pulled, or you could sometimes get access to the permits that were pulled, to see, to confirm or verify proper installation. Not necessarily required, but that could be a thing. All right. Did y'all read that section in your book? I've been telling you to do it for probably months now. Have you read it? Or no? As always, the book really does a terrible job of explaining it, if I'm being honest, but we still must read it nonetheless. So, all right, let's get into some questions. So y'all have no questions, nothing that we need to go over? Did anybody take their test? Yes, a while back. Good. Do you check the power source of the pumps? By check, what do you mean? If
You
I
can hear
go,
me?
yeah.
So, of course, I'm a plumber. So, I get like, we'll have a storm or something in South Carolina. And people, of course, everybody, during the storm, they go to their basement and they live out of their basement for that day or whatever. and they may have a sewage ejector pump or something like that. And of course, they go down there for a day and use the bathroom and try to flush the toilet. Well, if you don't have power to your house, your sewage ejector pump isn't gonna grind it and send it up. So they'll call us and be like, "Hey, my whole house is stopped up," or something like that, and we'll come out, and of course the power will be on. So now the toilet's flushing. And I always tell people, like, you know, y'all either need to run solar panels to a sewage ejector pump if it's in the basement. That way, if you lose power, the toilet is still flush and stuff. But I feel like that would just be another problem.
Installing solar?
No, if they like, if the homeowner doesn't know that if they don't have power, then that downstairs toilet's not gonna work. But if you can explain it to them, I feel like it will be a better benefit to them. Just one thing I was thinking about.
So is it such that the toilet is not going to work? I mean, the toilet is still going to flush. It's just not going to be pumping that water up to the drain, right?
Depends on the size of the tank on it. I mean, most of those toilets only got like a 1 gallon tank. So once you use the bathroom like twice, it'll go down,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just gonna hold
Hold the
there
water,
until
yeah.
it gets power. So,
Yeah.
if you end up using it for a day, then most of the time it's gonna start backing up and it's gonna look back at you.
Mm-hmm. So,
And of course, they call a plumber and be like, "It's not working." And we pull up, it may be $180 for us to pull up, for us to push your toilet handle down. And, people don't be happy with it.
so
But
okay, in your scenario, okay, the power is off, the power comes back on, the very next time that toilet is flushed, the pump gonna kick in, right?
yes, as long as there's power to it, the pump will turn on and actually grind it up, send it, and pump it up to the toilet, to the drain.
Yeah, so what I would say is that if you are doing an inspection on a house that has a private system, I would recommend giving them as much education as you have. So again, if you know that it has a septic system, just like how I explained it to you, explain it to them so that they know what they have going on. And as a part of that explanation, if there's the ejector or the sump or whatever the case may be in the basement or crawl space where you can readily explain it to them, just explain it to them how it works. If you are, that issue that you're talking about is really subject to like probably the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, certain areas like that, because we wouldn't have that type of issue necessarily with the basements and the storm and all that kind of stuff. But I would to the bet. That's why it's important that we know. Most of us aren't going to see this, but in the off chance that you do, it's important to know enough to be able to explain it. But I still would disclaim it in terms of the report. So you see the power there, you can let them, especially you, because you have that knowledge, you can let them know what they have and best practices and things like that. But in terms of again, when we talking about the septic system, in terms of actually including, that you evaluated in your report, I would not do that. No. I'm building at a property right now with a septic tank, and well, plumber didn't install the tank according to code. It's too close to the foundation. How did they miss that? Because normally, again, you got to get permits, and they ask you exactly where you're going to place it in relation to all it. Like that's a huge blunder. So it's already they already installed it.
Yeah, they already installed it, and I was there supervising, and they're gonna have to come back out and do it again. So
Did they pull permits?
I'm not sure if they were required to in this particular county. That's the only thing I'm not sure about.
I would look
But
into
she
that. It's
did-
mostly
Yeah,
it's,
the owner did mention something about permits and that she basically threatened them with something about their permits if they didn't come back out and fix it.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that is required to have a permit to install a septic system for that very reason. You can't just go out there and put a tank. It's basically a crap tank. Like you can't just put that anywhere. And I don't know if a lot of times, people try to go with the cheapest person, and that person may not always have the credentials in order to pull a permit. They may think they know how to do a thing, and so they just get to trying to do it. But that's why the permitting process is in place, so that we don't have things like that, because that's insane to put the crap tank near where we get our fresh water. No. Anything else? Since I missed my exam appointment the last minute, I'm prepared to take it. May 28th. Cola.
Hey Nita, life has been lifing over here. I've been pretty rough. I had a pretty rough schedule. Pretty rough schedule.
I understand, but that's still too far out.
I mean, that's the only time I have like that's visible. And I'm gonna be honest with you and with my friends as well. I took that miss. Like I was really down by for like 2 or 3 days. Like it has never happened to me before. I've taken an exam that's cost more than that, but I just felt like I lost my discipline that morning. And I'm the kind of person that sits back and is like, why did this happen to me? I struggled that week. Like, okay, then the motivation to try to reschedule. Then I pushed it out. Like, okay, I'm going to reschedule so like when I have a vacation coming, so I can take it for vacation. So personally, that's my struggle. So I had to push it out.
I understand that, but that's still not my that's way too far, Cola. You're not going to be likely. You're doing yourself more harm than good. You probably would have been better off. You don't have it's a 4-hour block. Like pushing it out that far, you're gonna be losing the information. The likelihood of you staying in your material, like you just. I mean, it's your decision, but I would not absolutely not recommend that. You want to take away your fresh and put absolutely, because what happens in May, if for whatever reason you don't take, it's like I'm telling you, I've got at least 100 examples. The further out you push the test, the lower the likelihood is that you pass, and the lower the likelihood is that you take it, because life will continue to life. I understand certain things happen and all that, but the fact of the matter is life is always life. And if my grandma say, if it ain't one thing, it's another. And so as soon as you feel like you got your feedback, then it'll be something else. And yeah. I need to push my eyes to when your schedule for May 2, Alicia?
No, I was scheduled for the 27th, but I'm going to push it to April. I'm just honestly not ready. I have need to know, but I don't know.
You have what?
I have need to knows that I just don't know.
What does that mean?
Like I have things that I need that I know I need to know that I still don't know.
Take the test, Alicia Keys. How would you know what you don't know if you don't take the test?
Because I took time off from the material and going back through the things, thinking that I knew them, reading back through them, I'm realizing that I need to go back through it.
So you feel like in another month or whatever that you're going to have all of your need to knows down?
It'll give me more time to go back through this chapter.
But you're not going to take the time to go through the chapter. I understand.
No, I am. I've really been committed to sitting down. So these past 2 weeks I have. So that's when I moved it. I was supposed to take it middle of March. I moved it to the 27th to give me more time. And now I'm like, I just need one more move because
time is not your friend, though. I understand what you're saying. Trust me. I get it. I've heard it so many times. I've seen it so many times before. Time is not your friend. It makes sense that you would think about it like that, but in this case, with this, it doesn't work like that. And this is our last review session. So now the onus, the accountability is all on you by yourself. And I'm not talking to any one individual, but this if that method worked, we wouldn't need inspector flow. If everybody could just take the time and go through and know everything, it's like we wouldn't have to do this like this. So again, I know that you think that you need more time and all that, you know, it doesn't work like that. And I'm this is one of those examples of how, you choose to do it your way, and my way is the way that's proven to work, not your way. You haven't done this. You haven't been here before. I've done it, been here before with varying types of people from all across. And then everybody tells me the same thing. Oh, this happened and I stopped studying. So I scheduled it a month out. In them 30 days, you're not going to be, you have all the intentions in the world. And maybe for a couple of days you do. But on your own, left up to your, we got to be realistic and honest about this stuff. It just doesn't work like that. You would be better off. And there's a certain level of fear. For Cola to tell me that I don't have any time to take this test in 30 to 45 days, that's simply fear. It's simply fear. It's simply fear. And I get it. It's intimidating and all of that. But remember when we were in session, all of the things that we must get past this test, and we must do the things that put us in the best possible position to get past it, which is taking it early and often. Take it as soon as possible and keep taking it every 30 days until you pass. Not wait. I literally said specifically, don't wait, 30 days in between it, the odds are against you. I'm not saying maybe you all could be the exception to the rule, whatever the case may be, but the odds are not in your favor when you do it that way. You need to, number one, take it and get the fear and get the jitters and all of that feeling about you. So you can finally say, okay, I took it. This is what I scored. This is where they're going to give you a breakdown. This is where I did well. Maybe the need to know is that you think you scored well on the test. Maybe it's another area. So, you govern yourself as you see fit, but got mine scheduled for that. Good. Good luck to you. And again, if you don't, it's not a big deal. Like nobody cares about this test, bro. It's like we already know, like it's just basically like a formality. So it's a mental thing more than it is a technical thing. You probably would do better on the test than what you even think that you would do, but it's a mental block. It's fear, it's uncertainty, it's intimidation, it's all of these things that are combating and that we have to battle with, and we have to just overcome it. And the way to overcome it is not to wait and try to get more of this and more of that, is to face it head on with a relenting attitude. Okay, so let's go through some questions, shall we? I'm just stressing and feel like I'm cramming to remember as much as I can. I understand exactly how you feel, and I don't want you to think that I don't. I totally get it. I totally understand exactly how you feel. You're not crazy for feeling that way. You are not, Cole, I get it. Like, I'm trying to get ready for, a new class, and things are happening to me. I'm out of town right now. It's my grandma's birthday. It's like, but it never, every time I try to start a class, life's on me. And so it's like we never get away from that. Every time I try to focus, it's really a spiritual thing. We ain't gonna go there, but it's really a spiritual thing. Anytime you try to set your mind on good things and to try to make progress and to do things that will help you and benefit you, things that are edifying, you are going to come under attack like none other. If you was BSing and just doing this and doing that, it wouldn't be no problem. But you're trying to stay consistent with something. You're trying to, again, combat all of these feelings of fear and insecurity and all of that. So the enemy is going to continue to try to keep you paralyzed with fear and thinking, well, you ain't got time. You got to do this. That ain't nothing but a trick of the enemy. So, yeah, let's get to the question, shall we? Let me share. Hold it. Let me get my screen together. Okay, so the question is gonna pop up. So be ready. You know the name of the game. Put your answer in the chat. And the first question, the first answer will win. Ready? Aim, fire. What is the minimum drainage pipe size that can accept flow from a toilet? First answer, A, keys, says C. Translate first. What are they talking about? Eliminate. Get the incorrect answer up out of there. Minimum. Don't overlook that. Minimum. What is the minimum? Correct answer is C. Point to A, key. See? Look at the need to knows. Look at the I need to know head there. All right, A, keys on the board. Next question. In a bathroom, at least one receptacle outlet shall be located a maximum of blank from the outside edge of each lavatory basin. Break that down. Cola, did you translate and eliminate, my friend? What are they talking about? A maximum, not minimum or not the correct, but a maximum, no more than from the outside of each. What is a lavatory? Is that the toilet? Is that the bathroom in general? Where's everybody's answers? Drop your answer. Correct answer, D. Cola, follow the flow. Follow the process. You answered too quick. You read the question and just chose the first answer. That is not our process. When you work on them computers, I know you got a process to follow, don't you? Follow our flow each and every single time. You are not smarter than the flow. The flow is for you. It's to protect you. It's to save you from yourself. Don't forsake the flow. Next question. During a home inspection, you notice a black plastic DWV pipe connected to a white plastic pipe with solvent cement only without an adapter. What is the proper reporting recommendation? You must translate. First answer, Naomi. Naomi, what's your nickname? What do people call you, like, or they just, you make them call you just straight up Naomi or what? Black plastic DWV, so that's a drain pipe. What drain pipe material is black and plastic? It is connected to a white plastic pipe. I know white plastic pipe is likely PVC. It's connected with solvent cement or glue, basically. What can I eliminate? Straight up, Naomi, respect. Call me by my name. Understood. What can I eliminate? If it were me, I would get D up out of there because it didn't mention anything about age. So there's no age implication. So I'm getting D up out of there. Recommend sealing the joint with plumber's tape. Well, no, I'm not going to connect my drain pipes with plumber's tape. So I'm going to get that out of there. So now I'm down to A and C. Correct answer is C. Point to Naomi. Okay, ladies. Next question. An ABS pipe is being evaluated during an inspection. Which of the following statements is most accurate regarding the proper support requirements? Translate. This is one of those questions where if this was right next to the question that I just had, I'm noticing, ABS. I remember that. What does ABS look like from the last question? What can I eliminate? ABS pipe, where is that at? Again, use the last question to help you for context. Where is the ABS pipe located at? First answer. Naomi says C. Mondre says C. Cola says A. What say the rest of you? Viv says C. Hey, Keys, what you say? Correct answer. Alicia, if you answer one more question right, I say you got to move the text up. What the rest of y'all say? Because she talk about, I never even heard it put like that. My need to knows. she coming to us with these need to knows, but she getting the answers right. Nah, I need to know what's up with that. Point to Naomi. See, you surprised that we powerful, man. Our brains are more powerful than you even know, than we even give ourselves credit for. If given the opportunity, your brain will surprise you with how good it really is and how well it can really perform. It's not like you just, watch some YouTube videos and I'm a weakness. It's like you were in school for weeks, for months with this stuff. There's some of this that you just know, and you may not even really remember or know that you know. But given an opportunity where you must recall it, like say a test, your brain be done surprised you. Next question. Which of the following fittings may be used to change drainage flow direction from horizontal to vertical in a 3-inch line carrying solids? Translator first. What are you asking me? Fittings, okay. I remember we talked about fittings, change drainage flow, okay, from horizontal this way to vertical that way in a 3-inch line that's carrying silence. Okay, you're talking about waste pipes, 3-inch line, fitting. Okay, now let me go to the answers. What can I get up out of there? What can I get up out of there? D for sure has to go. It's not an S-trap. S-traps are not used in drainage flow horizontally and vertically. What else could we get up out of there? I'm going to say C, a vent quarter bin. That sounds like you're combining two different topics. I know what a vent is and I quarter bin. Okay, cool. But you've combined it. That's not applicable. C and D is up out of there. I'm down to A and B. Change direction from horizontal to vertical. Horizontal, vertical. So my fitting, I need another surface. If this is horizontal and I'm going to change it to vertical, my fitting is going to be right here. Right? And what do I know about my sanitary T? The sanitary T is in what shape, what formation? Would that fit a horizontal to a vertical change in flow? Mondre, what's your answer? Cola says D, Naomi says B, Alicia says B, Viv says A, Mondre says A. Correct answer, A. Viv on the board. Cola. Now, I know you know that an S-trap does not apply in this here scenario. And even if you didn't know, if you follow the flow, you would know. Take your time and follow the process. S-trap does not apply. C and D should have been out of there. You're only choosing between A and B. Even if you don't remember all of the information, all of the specifications, a sanitary T is in what shape? What does a sanitary T look like? Sanitary T? Sanitary T. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So if I'm going from vertical to horizontal, is that the best answer? I would say no. I would choose A, and I would be correct. Next question. A newly remodeled bathroom features a sink with both a P-trap and a bottle trap installed in series. What should the inspector report? Translate. Newly remodeled bathroom. I got a sink. I'm looking up under my sink. P-trap and a bottle trap. I don't remember what a bottle trap is, but I know what a P-trap is. Okay, cool. Let me look at my answers. What can I get up out of there? First answer, Naomi. What answer can I immediately remove? This is one of those questions where you can eliminate your way to the correct answer, even if you don't know what it is. Code compliant. We're not talking about codes here, folks. I'm getting that out of there. C is out of there. Well, let me not do that. The rest of y'all, put your answers in there first. As soon as I said that, here going to be a B. Everybody put their answer in first. So, okay, removing A. I agree with that. Traps, clean outs, what? I remove A. So if I remove A and I remove C, and I'm down to B and D, what's my answer? Correct answer, B. Point goes to Naomi. Alicia, that was that correct answer. You got to move your test up. We made a deal. We had a bet. All right, next question. Do you see translating? This method works. It works if you work it. The only time it doesn't work is when you get beside yourself and think that you just gonna go in and choose the correct answer. I don't doubt that you are a smart, talented, capable person, but for the purposes of this test and the way that it is set up, we must follow the flow. I must follow the flow every single time. A trap is observed with a water sealed depth of 1 inch. What concerns should be raised in the inspection report? What are they asking me first? What can I eliminate second? What concerns should be raised in the report? First answer, Naomi. Eliminate. Eliminate, eliminate, eliminate. You know it is not. I'm looking at one that I know it's not that. I know it's not that. I know it's not this answer. Correct answer is A. Point to Viv. Now, what is the required water seal depth for a P-trap? It is 2 inches, okay? So when I'm
It says 2 inches to 4 at least 2 inches, a maximum of 4 inches.
That is correct. So when I'm reading this question and I'm translating, I'm automatically knowing, we definitely have an issue. When I come down to my answers, the trap should be relocated below the floor. No, that doesn't apply here. I'm getting that out of here. The trap will require a clean out due to shallow depth. No, that doesn't apply. B, the seal depth is acceptable for most fixtures. No, because I know that it is the minimum requirement is 2 inches. So even if I did not know the correct answer, I have eliminated my way into the right answer. Okay. Next question. ICC says, what does it say? Which of the following best describes the function of a plumbing vent system in a home? Let me take a minute and recall the plumbing vent system, where it's at, the installation, the material, common issues. Let me just recall. I got a lot of data up here. Let me just give myself a second to recall in translating this question. Okay, cool. My plumbing vents, I know I got to add air into my lines. I know I got to release the sewer. Okay, got it. Let me go through my questions. Looking for one to eliminate, not looking for the right answer, looking to eliminate what is the incorrect answer. First answer, Naomi says B. A Key says B. Viv is going to remove D and A. I'm cool with that. Cola says C is the correct answer. Mondre, what you say? Answer C. Viv says B. Correct answer is B. Gentlemen, the plumbing vent system, we never discussed that having anything to do with water pressure. When we talked about the vent, what do we talk about? Why do we need a plumbing vent? Does it have anything to do with the water supply? Point to Naomi. Does it have anything to do with the water supply? No. We talked about venting as it relates to the drainage system, correct? And the role that it plays in the drainage system, we know, just think about your sink. When I wash my hands and the wastewater, excuse me, how can I ensure a steady path of that wastewater out of my house? How can I ensure that? I need to introduce air. Remember when we talked about the water bottle? If you flip a water bottle upside down and you just take the cap off, it's going to chug out. If you stab it and introduce air, it is going to smooth out that process. That is what a vent does for us. Okay, next question. Which of the following would be an acceptable location for a roof terminating vent pipe? Translate first. Which of the following would be acceptable? Okay, I know roof vents. Again, going back to the last question, I can use these two together. I know that vent pipes terminate on the roof. Okay, cool. Let me check my answer selection. Oh, they're talking about clearance, right? I know that the vents have to protrude a certain distance above the roof, right? I know that. What can I eliminate? First answer, Naomi says B. Which of the following would be an acceptable location? D is diabolical. So we know it's not D. Get D up out of here. So I'm down to A, B, and C. Naomi says B, Cola says B, Viv says B. What say the rest of you? Madre says B. A Keys, what's your answer? Correct answer, C. 6 inches is too short. That's too short. And also, this part here, 3 feet from a soffit vent. Where is the soffit vent located? Is that even on top of the roof? No, it doesn't apply. We eliminate it. Next question. A sewage ejector system in a basement is functioning properly if, okay, we just discussed this. What can I get up out of there? We're not looking to choose the correct answer. We're looking to remove the incorrect answers first, because that is our flow. And we follow the flow. Getting rid of B. Okay, I'm with you, Mandre. The discharge pipe connects horizontally to the house drain. The vent pipe uses an AAV. First answer, Naomi, she says C. We got rid of B. We have A, C, and D left. What can we do? Remove D. So we got B and D up out of there. So we're down to A and C. If I had to just choose, my time is run out and I got to make a choice between A and C. Wow, that was quick. I was very quick how you all chose that answer like that after following the flow. Would you look at that? We know D is out of there. We know B is out of there. The sump pit is open to allow, no. So we're down to now A and C. Even if I, again, don't know, don't remember, if I'm choosing between A and C, you all chose correctly C. Who had that first? Naomi. Point to Naomi. All right, Naomi 5, A Keys 1, Viv 1. We are down to our final question. Are we ready? Which of the following is a typical indicator of a failing septic drain field that a home inspector might observe? We just talked about this as well. First answer, A Keys. She says C. Did you eliminate? Viv says C. Naomi says D. Mondre says C. Correct answer is D. The best answer is D. The best answer is D. C could be the case, but the best answer of an issue is standing water. So who had that? Naomi and Cola. C is correct too. Yes, it is. Remember to choose the best, the very, very best answer. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our final exam prep session for our first 12-week year. Shout out to those of you who have participated and taken advantage. Good luck to those of you who are taking your test. Remember what I said. You can do this. It starts here first. Also, remember to include God in your process. Pray about this. Ask God to help you pass this test. If you hear you have done enough work to earn a passing score. Again, this is not like you just some Joe Schmo off the street who watched a couple YouTube videos and you're going to go in there winging it. You all have completed inspector flow, which means you have completed intense training around this issue. Time is not what you need. You need to face this thing head on with prayer and supplications. Okay? And remember that no matter what happens, you are going to be relentless. I don't care, again, if you never do any inspections, although I really want you to. I want you to pass this test because it's important for you and for everything else that you will do in life. That I came up against this test, this thing that was difficult. I had to spend months learning the information. I had to have Nita on my behind. I had to take and pass this test. You need to pass this test for you, for your family, and for everything else that you will do in life. You must keep your promise to yourself. If you don't, you will always, you will always have it in the back of your mind that you could have and you should have passed, but you let fear, doubt, uncertainty keep you from that. And I don't want that to be your story because I know that you are much better than it. I know that you can pass. I know it. I would tell you if you know me, I would shoot you straight. I would tell you if you couldn't. You can and you will if you do it. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I don't care. We're not talking about how many times or whatever. I would rather see you, tell me I took the test, I scored a 4, whatever the case may be. I've scheduled it for another 3rd. I would rather hear that than to hear you continue to kick it down the road. This test is not going to hold us. We are bigger and badder than this test. We are. And we deserve to pass. We have earned the right to pass this test. I will follow the flow and I will make this test my own. Okay? I have moved my schedule to April 8th. Yeah! Let's go, Cola. That's what's up. That's the first step right there, brother. I'm proud of you. That's the first step right there. See that mindset shift? That's the first step. Proud of you. Okay? If all hearts and minds are clear, I'll see you in the group chat. Peace. What about y'all? Did y'all learn something on here?